Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. An amazing parable that really helps us understand how consciousness does the manifestation, how consciousness works. And it really, I also think, helps kind of give us a better understanding at when we look at the real world and don't see our desire yet, but we let that sway us. We let that shift our consciousness down. We put our old shoes back on. And this actually is a great parable for why we need to kind of remember, hey, whoa. I know these shoes are a little uncomfortable. Like, acknowledge this in our mind. I get this consciousness, this new consciousness is a little uncomfortable. But I know if I stay here, I know if I continue where I'm at, that my dream is literally just around the corner. Literally around the corner. If you're walking around a building, right, and you know just around the corner is the thing you're looking at, but you don't see it yet, you don't question that you know it's there. You don't question whether it is there. You can't see it, but there's a corner in the way. It's oftentimes how our manifestations are. It's unfolding. It's crystallizing. It's coming into physical world. We just have to let it. We have to let it. That's all. You know, because I've got my consciousness that I'm feeling it too. And I'm feeling like lately, man, I've been feeling like awesome. Like it's one of those things where you feel it. You feel your shift in consciousness. You just feel better. You feel wealthier. You feel whatever. You feel more loving. You're just being loving to everyone. You see loving things everywhere. You're being it. When you're being it, the result shortly follows. Maybe immediately-ish. But again, when it comes to a relationship, for example, you're trying to manifest a relationship, there's a contact that happens. Then there's communication that happens. Then there's maybe a date, right? Like there's a process. Even once you, like, I want to manifest a relationship with somebody. All right, but understand that that's going to require, talking and hanging out. And there's a lot of things that are going to happen. You don't just go from, hi, I just met you on Instagram to you're my girlfriend or boyfriend. That's absurd. You have to spend time with each other. Same goes with the jobs. They don't happen instantly. You get that interview, then you get in front of somebody, you talk to them, then you meet people, then you get there and show up on your first day and start to figure it right. Like there's a process for everything that we're manifesting. It's why oftentimes, one, people say, well, why are the easy things simpler to manifest? Well, there's far fewer moving parts for sure. Two, it's an easier shift in consciousness. Three, it's easier to believe that the little things are possible. But that's where we all break down. The second it gets bigger. Oh no, it's going to take a bit longer. It's a little more complex. It's okay. So understand that your goals are just around the corner, and this is a very good example or way to look at it. This is the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me into the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I don't know if you guys looked at the last chapter I did, but he kind of talks about clairvoyance, and he does something very similar, where he's got an interesting parable, if you will, and asks if you see things when you read it. Kind of similar to how this one played out. So that's the 23rd Psalm. It's a very good psalm for sure. His commentary. So let's go ahead and start and step through this. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Goddard follows. My awareness is my Lord and shepherd. That which I am aware of being is the sheep that follow me. So good a shepherd is my awareness of being, it has never lost one sheep or thing that I am aware of being. My consciousness is a voice calling into the wilderness of human confusion, calling all that I am conscious of being to follow. So well do my sheep know my voice, they have never failed to respond to my call, nor will there come a time when that which I am convinced that I am will fail to find me. I am an open door for all that I am to enter. My awareness of being is Lord and shepherd of my life. Now I know I shall never be in need of proof or lack of evidence of that which I am aware of being. Knowing this, I shall become aware of being great, loving, wealthy, healthy, and other attributes that I admire. Now, one thing that's really wonderful about this first part is he's really acknowledging the concept of the I am. The fact that we are acknowledging that the Lord is my shepherd. He's looking out for me. He's my consciousness. He's creating this. He also talks about the importance of not needing proof or needing any sort of outer world influence. He goes back into this. Trust me, we're not going to get too far away from that concept, but he's essentially kind of laying the playing field, if you will, for the way that manifestation works. Acknowledging that the I am is doing the creation. The I am is the Lord, and it's doing the creation. And looking to the outer events or outer world is something I'm not going to do because I understand that the creation comes from within me. So we continue. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Goddard's commentary. My awareness of being magnifies all that I am aware of being. So there is ever an abundance of that which I am conscious of being. It makes no difference what it is that man is conscious of being. He will find it eternally springing in his world. The Lord's measure, or man's conception of himself, is always pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Again, reiterating the fact that consciousness always finds itself. Consciousness always creates itself. That which we are aware of being, that which we know we are, that which we are conscious of, becomes real. We manifest exactly what we're consciously aware of. Now, we can shift our consciousness sometimes temporarily, and we might see temporarily a shift in our outer world, but when we fall back to our old ways, put the old shoes back on, we quickly stay at that lessened consciousness. He leadeth me beside still waters. Commentary. There is no need to fight that which I am conscious of being, for all that I am conscious of being shall be led to me as effortlessly as a shepherd leads his flock to the still waters of a quiet spring. Now, one of the things that's really cool is he talks about he'll make me lie down in green pastures, and he leadeth me beside still waters. This has to do with he's going to put me into a place where it's fertile, where it's good, where it's healthy, where I'm ready to grow and set down roots and set up a camp, right? I've got still waters, I've got drinking water that's from a nice spring, and I've got green pastures where I can grow all my food. It is the perfect place to manifest your dream. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Goddard's commentary. Now that my memory is restored, so that I know I am the Lord, and beside me there is no God, my kingdom is restored. My kingdom, which became dismembered in the day that I believed in power apart from myself, is now fully restored. Now that I know my awareness of being is God, I shall make the right use of this knowledge by becoming aware of being that which I desire to be. Again, my kingdom, which became dismembered in the day that I believed in powers apart from myself. One of the biggest keys for all of us is to understand this is your painting, your world, your life, your movie. Yours. Completely. Do you want to have someone co-create with you? Sure. But ultimately, you're still creating your side of it. This is yours to create. So never place that responsibility outside of yourself. That is always ours to own. So the psalm continues, Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Goddard's commentary, Yes, though I walk through all confusion and changing opinions of men, I will fear no evil, for I have found consciousness to be that which makes the confusion. Having in my own case restored it to its rightful place in dignity, I shall, in spite of the confusion, outpicture that which I am now conscious of being. And the very confusion will echo and reflect my own dignity. Meaning, the second I realize I'm the cause in creation, the second I look at the confusion about me and go, okay, it's just confusion about me. I need to get my consciousness raised back up. I need to put those new shoes back on. I need to see that I am the thing I'm trying to create. I need to become it again within myself. Who cares what the outer world reflects? If it's not showing you what you want, make sure you're focusing on keeping that consciousness elevated. Without that, you don't get there. Every time we slip back down into the old consciousness, put the old shoes back on, take the food out of the oven before it's done cooking. Every time we do that, we screw up our manifestation. It's either not ready and we come at it too early, like a relationship, for example. You're hitting someone up and calling them sweetie and all this other stuff, and they're like, I don't even know your name. Why are you being like this with me? I've been thinking about you for months. That's weird, right? So you can't come at people like that necessarily, but you got to know that it exists already within yourself, and then you allow the physical world to catch up. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. In the face of seeming opposition and conflict, I shall succeed, for I will continue to outpicture the abundance that I am now conscious of being. My head, or my consciousness, will continue to overflow with the joy of being God. It is the power of being in the feeling, of realizing that things are in process, that this is now an exciting time in your life, that you've turned a corner and come face to face with the fact that your life is now unfolding. Your dream is now coming true. And that's an exciting time if you think about it. How would the enhanced consciousness feel? Part of it's going to feel very joyful, very excited, very happy. Like, this is a cool time. I finally have this wonderful thing in my life that I'm building and growing. And don't just look at the end result. Example, money, right? There's a building of income. Enjoy that building. Maybe you're making $1,000 a month right now. After spending some time with this, you might get that up to $3,000, $4,000 a month, and you keep working at it. Get it up to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a month. Enjoy that growing. That's also part of that feeling of consciousness, that I'm already making $10,000 a month, but I need to step through it however it unfolds in my life. I am manifesting it. I know I am. It's just going to manifest in its time and in its way. And that's what we have to allow. So the final part of the psalm, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Goddard's commentary, because I am now conscious of being good and merciful, signs of goodness and mercy are compelled to follow me all the days of my life, for I will continue to dwell in the house, or consciousness, of being God forever. This is the beauty of how this works, is once you get better at this, once you see the consciousness happening, once you truly realize that I am going to become whatever I just put my mind to, or I am going to manifest an opportunity to experience whatever desire I have. I know this in my mind. I know what's going to happen. So I then get into that gratitude, happy feeling, realization consciousness that I've already got this thing, that I already am what I desire. Do I desire love? Then I'm being more loving. I'm seeing more love in a lot of places. That's what his last part's talking about. Because now I am conscious of being. Surely the goodness will follow me, right? Goodness and mercy will follow me wherever I go. Because now I'm aware that I'm creating the goodness and mercy. And so now that I've assumed that consciousness, that is what I see everywhere. So if you're not seeing your desire come true, it's not that you're doing any techniques wrong. It's that you're not necessarily your desire yet. That's all. Work on the consciousness. Do things that help enhance the consciousness. The mirror techniques, one I've talked about, realizing and studying and understanding what consciousness is another great way to do it. The last number of videos I've done, I'm just on this weird kick with consciousness. It is key. When you get yourself to that place where you've shifted it up and you stay there and realize, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, this job is mine. Yes, that woman would be lucky to be with me and I with her. And it's going to be great. And I look forward to the opportunity to talk to her. Or it's going to be so much fun to go and see another country or another city that I've never been to. And I'm totally looking forward to doing this. But it's always in that, I know this is going to happen. Somehow it'll work itself out. I don't know how it's going to appear in the physical world. And in all honesty, to me, that's one of the most exciting parts about manifesting, is how it shows up. Because I don't ever know. Sometimes I guess, sometimes I'm right, most of the time I'm not. It's awesome how stuff shows up sometimes. When we finally take off the blinders and finally stop forcing how manifestation has to occur, how someone has to respond back a certain way, or it doesn't mean the right thing, or how, whatever. When we finally realize that it's gonna happen however it's going to happen. And we'll get to witness it. It's not like you're gonna miss it. It's not like it's just gonna be up over in the corner. You're like, what? How'd that happen? Never. You get to watch it. You get to watch it unfold. And that's where a lot of the times you'll get the biggest kick out of manifesting, because things will show up in your life in the weirdest, randomest way. And that is one of the best parts of this whole entire journey. And when we learn that this is just an issue of getting our consciousness up, when we learn that all of this stuff is on its way to us, that our desires are fulfilling themselves in just but a minute's time or in just but a moment, that we finally took control and took the reins of our life. And from that point forward, I'm telling you, things start to happen in ways that, and it just starts to self-fulfilling prophecy at that point, because you are creating the prophecy internally and then seeing it show up externally. It's Dan Radio Style.